Hey, that's you.
That is me.
Yeah. Well, hello everybody on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I guess by everybody we mean Bobby.
Right. Yes. Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby. All right, let's see. Yep, that works. Okay, so you're in there. You're going to be the net controller tonight?
Do I have a choice?
Not really,
I didn't think so.
but thank you for volunteering.
Being voluntold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, throughout the workday, looking out that window there, I'll often see movement in the periphery, and when I turn to look, it's one of 2 or 3 different squirrels. There's a little one and a couple of chubbier ones that are out there playing all the time. So I just wonder if they'll make a cameo through the window under Eddie's car.
Maybe.
All right. Huh. Okay.
Okay, where's my little... There we go.
Are you all set up and ready?
I don't know.
Me either. Me either.
Guess I'm about as good as it's gonna get. 2 minutes and counting.
Stephen and Marla's dinner tonight.
Oh, very nice.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
And who's cooking?
I don't know. We'll ask.
I bet you it's
We'll
Steven.
ask. Probably.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you want me to grill dinner for you tomorrow night?
I think you need some practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll grill dinner tomorrow night. I got it.
Lunch, breakfast, dinner. I wouldn't be picky.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be hungry, but you won't be picky.
This reminds me of the Everybody Loves Raymond, where he figured out if he does things around the house poorly, Deborah won't ask him to do it anymore. And I
Yeah, I never could
think,
get that to work.
Oh, bullshit! Oh my
Hey, you
golly.
can't say that on the air.
Who are you teasing? I know better.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. Need to bleep that one out.
I don't have a bleeper.
Need to get a bleeper.
I would be
If
slow.
you're gonna be pulling that kind of garbage, we need a bleeper. Tell me. Haven't figured that out.
It's 8 o'clock, by the way.
Oh, it is, isn't it? All right.
Oh.
Here's my script.
Better get on here before Steven comes on.
What a good man.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to remind him.
No, he just
Apparently
handled
somebody needed to remind you.
it. Apparently.
Yeah. Good evening, friends, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I'll be working off the Pine Log repeater tonight, but we will be networked in with Sassafras, Somerville, Crawford, Lookout Mountain, Ball Ground, McDonough, Columbus, Moreland, Noonan, Zebulon, and VOIP. Yeah, that one. Tonight, our RF coverage area will be in excess of 31,000 square miles. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. I would like to thank everyone who has made North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 947, WQIR 514. My name is Julie, and I'm located in Woodstock, Georgia. On the net, You can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we would like to know. This is a family-based network, so we would encourage you to get your family involved. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address the other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. The use of your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. When signing in, please speak slowly and clearly as you give your tactical unit number, call sign, name, and location. At this time, I'll take check-ins. Any VoIP check-ins, please call Net Control now. Couldn't remember the name.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta 32, check in and out from LA, California.
Did he say 32?
Yeah,
Is that Chris?
that's right.
Tim in Woodstock. Atlanta 26, Flip in Druid Hills. Atlanta 180, Mike in Cherry Hill. Atlanta 780, Houston in Austell. Houston, I have you as in and out. Atlanta 291, Nick in Ackworth. Now there were a number of stations that were doubling. So if you did not hear your name, please come back to me. Now's your chance. So Pine Log check-ins. Any station that was doubling that you did not hear me check you in, please bring that back to me. Net Control standing by. It's all Pine Log. Well, I don't hear anybody coming back, so I don't know about the CW15. Alright. Alright, we're going to move on to all other repeater check-ins. Any repeater anywhere, please call Net Control now.
This is Noonan 40 and Noonan 41, WQZW 444. Larry and Phillips in Noonan.
This is Noonan 25, and by relay Noonan 26, we are WRCL 957. Joe and Mary Catherine, RF check-in through McDonough repeater. Hope I'm making it. Need to be short time tonight, Julie. Good evening.
Atlanta 295, Atlanta 296, WRFN 658, Scott and Debbie from Dallas.
I don't know who that was.
It was 254 Dawn in Blairsville.
254?
Yeah.
Oh. In and out, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Very nice.
Hey, Donna 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Good evening, everyone.
Alright.
This is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514, Justin at Studio B.
Did I check in Houston yet? And Nick?
Yeah, Houston's there. I see
Okay.
Nick in there.
No, I mean, did I acknowledge them? I don't remember.
I don't know either. I think you did.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge. I believe I acknowledged, but I'm going to do it again. Atlanta 780, Houston and Austell. Houston, I show you as in and out. Atlanta 291, Nick in Ackworth. Noonan 40, Larry and Noonan 41, Phyllis. both in Noonan. Thank you. I have Noonan 25 and by relay Noonan 26, Joe and Mary Catherine. I show you as short timers. Thank you so much for checking in with us this evening. Hope you have a great weekend. We also had Atlanta 295 Scott, Atlanta 296 Debbie, both in Dallas. I have Atlanta 254 Don in Blairsville, in and out. Thank you, Don, for checking in with us tonight. I had McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge, in Atlanta 946, Justin sitting right here in Studio B. Is there anyone I missed or anyone else wishing to check in? Any repeaters anywhere? Net control standing by. Alright, with nothing heard, for tonight, I want to make it a little bit interesting, and the question is going to be, when you have your informal comments, is share something with the group that maybe somebody doesn't know about you, or that may surprise someone to learn about you. So that is the question for this evening. So again, the question's going to be, share something with the group that maybe somebody doesn't, or that we don't know about you, or that we would be surprised to learn about you. But before we go to the informal comments, I just wanted to make mention again, because we have so many new members with the North Georgia GMRS network, that a good place to get a lot of answers to many questions that we hear time and time again is by going to our webpage at ngGMRS.org. There are a number of good tools that you can pull up from that. One being our membership roster. If you click on that site and you know that you keep talking, or maybe you hear some certain numbers that are on the air quite a bit and you can't remember their name.
Oh, I can't remember their names.
If you go to the membership roster, you'll be able to find their particular tactical unit number.
Where's that at?
And the name. Well, good thing that you asked, because you would find that when you click on the membership roster, it's going to pull up a page that's going to give you a membership summary.
How do I find the membership roster? Where's that at?
That is on the main page of the North Georgia GMRS web page.
So I just...
You just pull that up.
Yeah? And then what do I do?
And then you're going to look at it.
It's right there on the top?
If you scroll...
Oh, I have to scroll.
Yeah, you're going to have to scroll.
Oh.
So if you scroll down from the home page, you're going to see these individual little tabs that you can go to, and if you click on it, you're going to be able to find... The one says membership roster.
Oh,
Do you see
is that where the roster's at?
That's where the roster's at.
Fantastic.
And it'll even give you our licensed members throughout the years and the growth and everything. But at the bottom of that, you're going to see where there will be a tab that says Atlanta and Alabama and Cades and Chattanooga and Columbus and Noonan and so on and so forth. If you click Atlanta, if somebody's tactical unit number is Atlanta 947, you click the Atlanta tab and scroll down to 947, and lo and behold, you'll see that the name is Julie from Woodstock. Pretty nifty, isn't it?
That's pretty nifty. You know what I heard about the 900 series of numbers?
They're reserved for Yankees, Rift Raft, and what was the third?
Scallywags.
Scallywags, that's
Scallywags,
right.
yeah.
Alright, let me break. Another cool thing that you'll find on our web page, on that home page, is that you'll be able to see the linked repeater map. And that's pretty cool, because you can see which repeaters are linked in together and which ones are going to bounce off one another. And
you know what's also cool is when you're looking at that linked repeater map, is when you key up your radio, you can see the little repeater icon change colors.
That's right. Yeah.
So that it'll show you which repeaters are active at any given moment.
Yeah.
So that's a handy thing to have.
It is a handy thing to have. And another handy thing to have is the GMRS repeaters. If you click that one, it's going to give you all the various repeaters that we have to offer. Their PL tones and how to
so
get
you can
into.
program your radio.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Very
All
cool
right.
stuff.
Good
So
stuff.
there's a lot more good stuff on there. So highly encourage you to get on and go to ngmrs.org and play around with that webpage. And there's a lot of good information there, and it's very user friendly. So
Yeah. Apparently Atlanta 911 has something to say.
oh boy, not her again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonder if
Well,
she has
anyway.
her base radio set up yet.
I don't know, but she hasn't checked in. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and break on that note, and we'll take any late check-ins. Any repeater anywhere, please call Net Control now.
Excellent.
Was that her?
Yeah, it was her. Yeah, she's gonna have to do better than that.
Yeah, where's her base?
Yeah,
What was she, on her handheld?
she must have been
Laying in bed?
laying in bed. Yeah, watching TV.
Net Control's acknowledging Atlanta 911, Cassandra in Woodstock. Thank you for checking in with us tonight, Cassandra. Before I leap into informal comments, Cassandra, I don't know if you were listening in, but we are going to ask that you share something with the group that others may not know about you, or that others might be surprised to learn about you. And with that, I'm going to go to, we had Atlanta 32 Chris. He's out in California. He's in and out. But Chris, if you're listening in, thank you for checking in with us this evening, and I wish you safe travels back home, my friend. So that brings us to Atlanta 253, Donald in Blairsville. Good evening, Donald. What's going on?
Good evening, Miss Julie, and good evening to the rest of the net. Still unsupervised with just me and the dog over here at the farm. I take care of the farm. If anybody doesn't know, I help my cousin up here in Blairsville with her horse farm.
Very cool stuff, Donald. Yes, I am very surprised to know that you are unsupervised. That is very startling. But anyway, I know you got to be enjoying staying out at that farm. Has your friend showed up this evening?
No, I hadn't talked to him yet. I think he's coming tomorrow. I'm not for sure.
All right, Donald. Well, you guys have a great time out there. I hope he shows up for you soon. Somebody's got to keep an eye out on you and make sure you stay out of trouble, my friend. So with that, you have a great evening. I'm going to move on to Atlanta 403, Bobby in Port Charlotte. Good evening, Bobby.
Actually, Bobby was just asking that we check him in and out because he's having some VoIP issues. So
Oh, no.
let's see if he comes in. We'll give him just a moment for that, and if not, we'll move on. Let's move on. You had your chance, Bobby.
All right, and that brings us to noon and 5-9. Michael in Forest Park. He was in and out. Thank you for checking in with us this evening, Michael. So that brings us to our friend Atlanta 136, Aiden in Tucker. Good evening, Aiden. What might you have to share with the group that we might not know about?
Good evening, Justin and Julie, and good evening to the rest of the net. I've been doing pretty well today. If you can tell, I'm on a different antenna. I have been using the Comet slash base slash mobile antenna for the last couple of days, and I went to Henderson Park yesterday and was using it with my little handheld, and I was getting some great results from Pymog. So it's working wonders for me, and I have to say that Atlanta 1233 was giving me a lot of good radio checks as well. And during that time, I'm currently sitting on my patio right now, and I had to put on some bug spray so I wouldn't get bit up by all these mosquitoes out here. But that's what's been going on over here. Other than that, I don't really have anything to share, but I guess I'm a really just down-to-earth guy. If you need, just to talk to me, I'll be around. But other than that, that's what's really going on over here. Back to net control.
Well, Aiden, that is outstanding. Glad that you had some good radio checks there. Your audio is coming through here loud and clear. So good stuff, Aiden. Glad you've been powering through that, and it seems like that everything has worked out on, well on your behalf. So don't get eaten up too bad. Another secret you can use out there is if you have a fan, just go out there and put that on you, because that'll keep the mosquitoes away for sure. You don't have to, spray up with all that mosquito repellent. Just get a fan and it'll push them away from you. But anyway, good stuff, Aiden. Thank you for checking in with us this evening. Hope you have an outstanding evening. With that, we'll move on to Atlanta 420, William in Roswell. Good evening, William. What do you have maybe to share with the group?
Good evening, Julie and Justin. Not much news been going on here, but I've always been a real big fan of Prairie Home Companion, and I think you and Justin kind of fit that picture for it. For something that other people don't know about me, as well, I've been a lifetime nudist at Lake Wobegon, and the lifestyle is fantastic. And swimming across the lake on a daily basis has always been a pleasure of mine.
Lake Wobegon. Prairie Home Companion, Lake Wobegon. Yeah.
Very cool, William. Thank you for sharing that with us. Got a little chuckle from me. Oh my golly. Well, very cool. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 210, Stephen in Roswell. Good evening, Stephen. How are you doing? And what might you share with the group this evening?
Everyone on the net. Let me think. Interesting point. I have a license to fly airplanes, seaplanes, and helicopters, and I've probably spent more time on those radios than, admittedly, in my ham shack, which is a little bit of an embarrassment since I've had a license for many, many years.
Well, that is very cool, Stephen. So, do you get out and fly much anymore, or you just kind of gotten away from that?
Used to fly a lot of business, kind of the King Air type stuff. Now, really for recreation, I enjoy a little aerobatics. So that was my latest venture. The old tail dragger, stick and rudder, and spin upside down, fun stuff. It's very challenging. It's kind of like the old school original flying. Feel like a World War II pilot when you get in one of those.
Ah, yes. Well, I tell you, as you're talking about it, I'm picturing Secondhand Lions. I don't know if you're familiar with that film, but that's what's replaying in my mind right now. So cool stuff, Stephen. If you haven't had a chance to watch that film, I highly recommend it. Secondhand Lions. Write it down.
The older I get, the more I relate to those guys.
No, it's a great film. So, very cool stuff, Stephen. Thank you for sharing. And with that, I'm going to move on to Atlanta 261, Scott in Holly Springs. Good evening, Scott. What might you have that could surprise the rest of us?
Yes, this is Atlanta 261. I hope you're hearing me. We're cleaning out. The girls, of course, had another party. I am officially relearning the extra ham radio test. This and that. I stopped about a month before this crazy thing happened because family and work. But we're going to hit up that extra ham radio test. And the little thing is, I'm into the Rubik's Cube. I'll go ahead and let it say it out loud. I now have officially done the 4x4, and the 5x5 Rubik's Cube is on the way, so to speak. I just wanted to do the 3x3 Rubik's Cube and just put it off the bucket list, besides going parasailing, jumping out of an airplane. So the bucket list is complete, but now I'm officially going to try to solve the 5x5 Rubik's Cube. So thank you, Net Control.
Well, very cool, Scott. Rubik's Cube, man, that brings back memories.
Yeah.
Oh, my golly.
Yeah, how long has the Rubik's Cube been around?
I think since the 80s, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was big in the 80s is when it came out. Scott, you probably know better than us. When did the Rubik's Cube come out?
Well, Miss Julie and Mr. Justin, I appreciate it. It's officially the year differences, but 1982, and then I have the original, so to speak, because they changed colors because the white is different from the yellow. But anyway, I stopped the extra ham license exam questions on hamstudy.org about a month before this crazy thing started, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, and then stopped, and then went on to other things, family and business, and then now 1, 2, 3 did the hat trick, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So
yeah, that guy.
I think
that is
inspired a lot of
my
people.
next goal. Get this ham extra. Get this ham extra. Over.
Oh, yeah, Scott, I hear you. I think Atlanta 123 has inspired a lot of people to get back on the boat and start studying for the extra for sure. So, yep, Tim, you have inspired many, for sure. But Scott, getting back to the Rubik's Cube, you're going to have to go to YouTube or wherever you can find it, but there is on America's Got Talent, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
There was a guy who was on there who did magic with the Rubik's Cube, and it was quite fascinating. So I highly recommend that you go to YouTube and Google magician Rubik's Cube America's Got Talent. It is pretty cool stuff. But
oh yeah, when you can mix up a Rubik's Cube and throw it in a brown paper bag and pull it out solved, that's yeah, that's impressive.
He did a lot of pretty cool
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, definitely check it out, Scott. But thank you for checking in with us. Good luck on that extra study with the hamstudy.org. So we'll definitely need to hear how you're progressing on that, my friend. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Somerville 10, Alex in Canton. Good evening, Alex. It's been a while since we've talked last. Glad that you're back in here. And what would you like to share with the group that others may not know about?
Well, first and foremost, Julie, I just want to say good evening to you and Justin as well. Yes, it's been a while. I'm happy to be back. And I got a few things. Some of y'all may know some of these things, so I got more than one. Pets. I have 4 of them. I have 3 parrots, and I have a pet pig. Number 2, right now I have a beard, but normally when I shave, I use a straight razor. Number 3, I found the best way to repel mosquitoes is with a good Dominican cigar. And number 4, I have an 800-watt HF ham station in my shack there, and have made contacts all the way from Bermuda down to New Zealand. So we'll throw it back to you there, Net Control.
Holy cow, Alex, you have got a lot of information there. So, pet pig, how did you stumble across that one? Please do share.
Oh, I'm sure it was a look who followed me home kind of a thing.
Well, my neighbor has a farm in our neighborhood. They've got one of the larger lots. They've got about 20 acres. And before they could get their male potbelly neutered, they had piglets, and they were giving them out for free. So I got one for my kids for Valentine's Day. She was about 4 pounds when we got her. I picked her up and stood on the scale and then compared her to my weight without her in my arms. She's gone from 5 pounds on February 1st to 83 pounds today. And yeah, she is a bundle of joy. She's right here under my feet right now. I'm scratching her belly with my feet.
Oh my golly, Alex, that is great stuff. I have not seen the pet pig on Facebook. I've seen your birds, but not the pig. So I think you're slacking there, or maybe I am. Maybe I just completely missed it. But cool stuff. Cool to hear about your 800-watt radio that has allowed you to touch base around the world. Very cool stuff. And straight razor, whatever possessed you to try that?
That and the cigars both go back to my grandfather. My grandfather grew up in Havana as a child. He lived in the apartment above the ABC, or as he called it, the ABC, news headquarters back in the 30s. And it was actually the ABC news headquarters was the this is kind of off topic, but it was the headquarters of the Cuban Revolution. So growing up, I got to hear a lot of great stories about that. He had a lot of cigars that his father brought back that lasted over time through the 40s, 50s, until the 90s. So I grew up watching my grandfather smoke cigars and use a straight razor at the same time, believe it or not. I'm enjoying a Dominican right now, Dominican cigar, and that's what made me think about the straight razor, because every time I smoke one, I think about my grandfather. He passed away about 4 years ago, and he was a great man.
Love it, Alex. Well, thank you for sharing. And when you have somebody like that in your life that you can look back fondly on the memories is very cool stuff. So thank you for sharing that. But I do want to say, Atlanta 136, Aiden, please do not try the cigar trick right now. Wait till you're a little bit older. Stick with the fan, my friend. And with that, I'm going to move on to Atlanta 36, Bill in Waleska. Good evening, Bill. What would you like to share tonight?
Good evening, and good evening to the net. And let's see, I like Motorola's, but I believe that's already out there.
Yep.
A classic rock fan, love that, and trying to learn metal detecting. Have a fine white metal detector, and as the temperatures start falling off in the fall, I hope I can master it back then and hopefully find the gold.
Very cool stuff, Bill. Yes, the Motorola, that was definitely out there already, but the metal detector, that's rather interesting. You know, we have a longtime friend who started off as our pastor and just developed a deep friendship with him and his family. Come to find out, his wife has always wanted a metal detector, and for whatever reason, our friend Brooks would never buy her one. Don't know why. So But cool stuff. So you're looking for gold. Have you tried your hand at the panhand or the gold pan?
Panning.
Panning.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you
Yeah.
tried your hand
Has that
with
panned
that?
out?
Well, did that with the kids years ago in Dahlonega, where they let you pan for gold. But no, I think the surest road to riches are finding rings, according to the show I think that was on Discovery some years ago called Diggers. And they would find a wonderful looking coin. I'm like, oh my God, that thing's from 1898. It must be worth, about $1. So unless the coins are pristine, you're pretty much out of it. But rings appear to be where it's at. So hopefully that's me down the road.
Interesting, Bill. Yeah, I had not seen that and did not hear that. So that's rather interesting stuff, Bill. Well, I would love to hear how that comes out for you. So you'll have to keep us informed on how you do. So I guess the day that we don't hear you on here anymore and we've got Facebook pictures of you off in far, far away lands will tell us that you hit it big, my friend. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta. 1, 2, 3. Tim in Woodstock. Would you like to share your new ham call sign?
Good evening, Julie, Justin, and the rest of the net. Yes, my new call sign is KX4ZU, Kilo X-Ray 4, Zulu Uniform. I just got it today. And as far as sharing something about myself, I have an eclectic range of hobbies, ranging from whip cracking to knife throwing to yo-yos. But the one I'm going to tell you about is something I was addicted to many years ago, or several years ago, I should say. I was addicted to an adult toy. But before too many strange images pop into your mind, that toy was buckyballs. It is a 5mm magnetic sphere that you can create all sort of cool stuff with. And I really got into it big time, taking photos.
Monkey balls?
And I was actually commissioned by Brookstone Catalog to create something for their Father's Day edition 2012, and it made the cover of the catalog. Over.
We'll be back after these messages from our sponsor. Apparently 947 heard something completely other than buckyballs. And I'm not sure what mental image she has in her mind right now, but she can't shake it.
Oh my golly.
Oh no, I have started another Julie giggling fit. Yes, they're Bucky Balls. Another company is Zen Magnets. But that's why I tried to get in there real quick, and so not too many strange images popped into your head. Over.
How lucky are they?
Too late. I'm sorry, Tim. I heard monkey balls. Anyway, great stuff. Definitely got a good chuckle out of me, Tim. The visual is just something I cannot shake very well. So. But interesting. I have no idea what that is that you were talking about, but I'm definitely going to have to Google it now.
That? Well, I tell you what, Google this. Google Yo-Yo Bandalore. YOYOBANDALORE. Yo-Yo Bandalore. I have a lot of images on Flickr, and you can see some of my creations there. Over.
Very cool stuff, Tim. I will definitely do that, and we'll get back with you on that. So, thank you for sharing, and more than anything, thank you for a good laugh. So, oh my golly, pull it together, Julie. But congratulations again, Tim, on your amateur call sign. Very cool stuff. I know you can't wait to get your hands on that radio and start making some contacts. So, cool stuff for sure. And again, Tim, you have inspired so many of us wanting to get back on that boat and start studying for the extra. So, way to go. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to our friend Atlanta 26, Flip in Druid Hills. Flip, welcome back from your vacation. And tell us, how did that go, and what would you like to share with the group?
Well, hey everyone. Yeah, I don't know too much about buckyballs, but I did have a great trip out to the Northwest. We went to Yellowstone and Grand Tetons, and I'm here to report that everything out there is big. Big sky, big mountains, big rivers, and most importantly, big animals. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time and stayed safe, and got a great opportunity to get out in the wilderness and see the stars for a change, and had a blast. Really good time. What did I miss around here?
Well, Flip, as far as what you missed, I don't know if, I'm not sure when you got back from your vacation, but Tim, Atlanta 123, holy cow, he went in, when was that?
It was a week ago Saturday.
Was it a week ago Saturday? And he went in to get his technician license. And not only did he score his technicians, but he went on that very same day and took the general, passed that, and they asked him if he wanted to try for the extra, and he said, why not? And he scored a triple hitter that day. He got all three in one day, so very cool stuff. I would say that's the big headlines that you missed while you were vacationing.
Well, congratulations, Tim. That is really quite an accomplishment. That's awesome. I didn't have the confidence to try for future tests. I just studied for the general after I got my technicians. And but congratulations, that's neat. But yeah, the trip was great. We had a wonderful time. I did trash my feet a little bit, hiking 32 miles in the Grand Tetons with a 40-pound pack on. With old school hiking boots is not a good idea, it turns out. I had worn them a little bit around the house and stuff, and they felt comfortable, but wow. The Tetons is like all granite, so when you're walking around on those trails and banging your feet into granite all day long, it's pretty ugly. But it was a wonderful, beautiful place, and I'm really glad that we went, and we had a wonderful time, and we're all back, and everybody's safe, and all good. So thank you.
Well, Flip, I sure am glad to hear that the trip was a success. Sorry about your feet. Yeah, you got to take care of those things. But, I saw recently, I think it was on Good Morning America, where somebody once again was out there in the fields and out there at Yellowstone, and this huge buffalo or whatever it is was charging after two people because they got too close to the animal trying to take pictures or selfies or whatever they were doing. And glad to hear that wasn't your crew.
bison are huge animals, and they are everywhere out there, and they are very docile looking. I mean, they feed on grass, and they're just kind of hanging out, minding their own business. But unfortunately, what happens is people who are driving down the road see one fairly close to the road. They stop, they get out, and because it doesn't move, you know, they try to get too close to it to take a picture. And before you know it, I mean, you can't blame the animal. He's like, get away from me. Like, gore some woman, you know. That's just what happens. Unfortunately, people get too close to that stuff. And you just can't, you got to give them space. But we saw big bison, tons of bison. We saw lots of big bull elks with big antlers on them. We saw a lot of bear. We saw a number of moose, both female and male. Wow, it was everything, just giant animals, really amazing, and all natural. You know, even though you're driving by or whatever, they don't care. I mean, because they don't have any predators around there except maybe some wolves in the Lamar Valley, or bothering the bison a little bit. But other than that, everything else is just enjoying life out there in the big country.
Well, that is cool stuff for sure, Flip. But yeah, when I saw that on TV, the thing, I just couldn't help but shake my head, because time and time again you hear of those things happening, and you're wondering, why do people still attempt to get too close or take pictures? But anyway, I'm glad you had a great trip. That is one that I would definitely like to take myself. It is on the bucket list for sure. So glad you had a great time, Flip. And I sure am glad that you guys made it home safe and sound. So good talking to you, my friend. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on. I think we had CW15 David and Comer check in and out. I didn't get a good read. He
had a bunch of doubles right
there. Yeah, he kind of doubled with others, but just want to put it out there, David. I think you checked in and out. So hope you have a great weekend, my friend. With that, we had Atlanta 180 Mike in Cherry Log, I believe.
Yeah.
Mike, are you still in there with us? And what would you like to share with the group?
Well, the first thing I'd like to share, Julie, is say hello. And I'm glad you realized that I didn't do a cheer you. I think that was that's a domino record, wasn't it? What you probably know, well, it's not over time.
He broke. Hey, Mike, we can't make any of that out. I think I heard you say break, but all we're hearing from you is noise. So if you can get to some place where you can improve your signal and try that again, we'd appreciate it.
Well, Mike sure would like to know what you have to say with the group tonight. Unfortunately, your signal is not coming in very well at all. Can't read you at all. Just a lot of noise in the background. I'm going to go ahead and move on, Mike, but if you'd like to try again in a little bit, we'd love to hear what you have to say. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on. We had Atlanta 780 Houston and Austell. Houston was in and out. Houston, hope you and Mona have a fantastic evening. That brings us to Atlanta 291, Nick in Ackworth. Hey, Nick, how's it going, and what would you like to share with the group tonight?
Oh, good evening, everyone on the net. Julie, Justin, and thanks for being such a host. We appreciate that. Trying to think what I might share. Real quick, let's do a signal check because I'm on an HG.
Well, Nick, I can definitely tell you're on an HT. Kind of sounds like you might be moving around.
Well, trying to get the last of my walk in before the sun goes down. How's that?
That is much better. Stay put. Holding one leg up and your tongue out and go for it.
All right, throwing the ball as fast as I can here. Firefighter EMT for 5 years. In possession of something that not a lot of people have, stork pin from a field delivery of a baby.
Stork pin?
From a field delivery?
I'm sorry, Nick. Did you say stork pin from a field delivery?
Correct. That is what it's kind of a, I don't know if it's a regional thing, but up where I'm originally from in Ohio, if you are field personnel that participates in the delivery of a child in the field, you get a stork pin to commemorate the event.
Now that's very cool. No, I did not know anything about that. That's pretty neat stuff. So I would love to see it. Please post it on Facebook. Do you know where it's at?
It's somewhere between that box and that box.
I understand. Well, if you happen to stumble across it, Nick, I would love to see what that looks like. That sounds pretty cool. Well, thank you for sharing, my friend. I won't keep you. You keep walking so you can get home before it's dark. And with that, we've got Noonan 40, Larry in Noonan. Good evening, Larry. What would you like to share with the group tonight?
Well, good evening, Julie and everyone. I trust everyone's doing well and staying safe and virus-free. We're just trying to stay cool down here in Noonan. It's been a hot one today. Since we last talked, Julie, just to update you, Noonan 43, Sarah, has completed school, got her nursing license, and is working as an ER nurse up in Athens. So we're real proud of that down here. Let me break. Let's see. For me, I spent over 10 years as a pharmacist in the Army. That's a little side note. And the other little side note, I guess, for me is that I am the program manager for our county for the CERT program, the Community Emergency Response Team program. And I will share a little something from Noonan 41, Phyllis. In addition to being a very successful salesperson, she is a master gardener and does quite well with that and does some amazing creations. So that's what's going on here, Julie. I hope you guys are doing well. So Noonan 40 for Noonan and Noonan 41 back to net control.
Well, Larry, very cool stuff. I did not know that about Phyllis being a master gardener. That's cool stuff. Did she do landscaping or anything like that, like around your place? Or is it more like gardening, like with vegetables or flowers or that kind of thing?
Well, Judy, when you and Justin get to come down and visit, you'll get to see the rock garden that she spent 4 years building, and still works on a daily basis, and some of her other projects. But yes, she's primarily the flower type of gardener, not the beans and corn gardener. Over.
Very nice. Yeah, I can't wait, Larry, for Justin and I to come down that way again and meet up with you and Phyllis. It's been a while since we've hung out with the two of you, so that would be great stuff.
It's been a while since we've hung out with anybody.
Down in Noonan, period. Yeah, so I think we're due for a trip for sure. But cool stuff about Sarah. I did see where she graduated with her nursing program. Now, I may have missed it. Did you say, has she gotten a job, and where is she at?
Roger, just on the graduating part, she was the first person to ever graduate from her university in nursing with a 4.0 GPA. But yes, she is working as an ER nurse at St. Mary's Hospital in Athens now. Over.
Athens. Wow, that is very cool stuff. You and Phyllis have every right to be very proud of that young lady. She is amazing. And I thoroughly enjoyed that one time we all met up for lunch and she was there and we got an opportunity to fellowship with Sarah as well, and she's just an amazing young woman. So very cool stuff, Larry. Yep, we are definitely due for a trip pretty soon, so we're gonna have to make that happen, my friend. Now, is Phyllis planning on checking in? I know you checked in for her. Is she planning on getting on here and sharing anything with us this evening?
Negative. She is sitting on the other side of the room listening. She says she talks enough during the daytime and she doesn't like to talk on the radio at night. So she's not going to get on. And I was just going to say congratulations. You guys are the doctor. So you guys have the doctor and we have the nurse. Back to you.
Very cool. Yep. Wouldn't that be amazing if the two of them hooked up? So who knows?
Who knows?
You never know what could happen down the road. But anyway, I want to say hello to Phyllis from Justin and I as well. So thank you so much for checking in with us tonight. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. With that, I'm going to move on to Noonan 2.5 and Noonan 2.6. Joe and Mary Catherine, they were both in and out short timers this evening. They are always very busy running here and there. So.
Well, they are, and since Joe doesn't have the opportunity to defend himself, I just Joe had raised the possibility of experimenting with slow scan TV over GMRS. Of course, we can't do that on GMRS frequencies, but what we could do is have Joe arrange to broadcast an image, and the GMRS community could use scanners and radios and laptop computers and whatever we have to maybe try to decode that video. So I don't know if that's something that interests folks on the GMRS side of things, but it's something that Joe would be willing to work with us on. So
I think you should post that on our Facebook.
Yeah, I think I'll
and
make a
do a
question
poll
thing and see if there's any interest there.
Because
so
that could be very cool.
He's always got interesting
he does. He's
things
amazing.
going on, and so that could be exciting to play with. So thanks for that, Joe. Even though you're not with us, maybe you're listening, and but we'll pursue that in some manner. We'll have to put some thought into that.
I love it.
So go ahead and carry on.
All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 295. Scott in Dallas. Good evening, Scott. What would you like to share with the group tonight?
Hey, Justin, and the rest of the net. I'm really not too interesting. I don't have too many weird hobbies or anything like that. So I guess I'll share. I graduated high school at the age of 17 and joined the Navy. And retired 21 years later, and in 21 years in the Navy, the first time I ever stepped on a ship was 8 years after retirement for a cruise on my 25th wedding anniversary. So there you go. 21 years in the Navy and never went on a ship.
That is pretty amazing, Scott. Thank you for your service, I have to say. It's funny that you say that, 21 years and never stepped on a ship. We have a neighbor friend who also served in the Navy, and he didn't know how to swim. Go figure. Guess it's something's not a requirement.
Yeah.
But anyway, guess that's just something that's not a requirement with the Navy. I don't know, but that's cool stuff, Scott. Thank you for sharing that. That brings us to Atlanta 296, Debbie in Dallas. Good evening, Debbie. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, everybody, And I'm the one that took them on the boat, by the way. So, at least we got that one checked off the bucket list. The interesting thing about me is I'm a poll worker. And before you get any ideas, I work for the Paulding County Board of Elections.
It's good that you clarified that, Deb, because Julie's full of ideas.
Oh my golly. Yes, I am. Wonder why that is. Well, that is awesome, Debbie. Yes, a poll worker. I had also volunteered for the, for many of years for the elections as well. So, my hat is off to you because you put in a lot of hours and, it's just, I don't think you guys get enough credit for what you do.
That I love and take a lot of pride in getting the job done.
Absolutely, Debbie. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. It was great hearing you on the air here, and I hope you and Scott have a great weekend. With that, we had Atlanta 254 Don in Blairsville. Don checked in and out. I wish he would have stuck in there because I had recently learned, being last night, that Don had a couple of visitors I don't know if it was during the day or in the middle of the night, but they had a mama bear and two bear cubs stumble upon his porch. And I guess their security camera, caught sight of that. So cool stuff. Would love to have talked to Don more about that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Good evening, Tim. What would you like to share tonight?
Good evening, Julie. I was listening to everyone else and trying to figure out what I might could relate about myself that would be interesting enough, and probably the most interesting thing I've ever done, go back to around 2001. I was a huge NASCAR fan back in those days, and I was posting in a NASCAR forum for all types of racing, and the owners of the website asked me if I would like to attend Atlanta races as their reporter, and I would get media passes, pit passes, garage passes. I would have all the same access as CNN or ESPN or all those guys, and park in the media parking lot and all that good stuff. So unfortunately, my first assignment was a memorial service for Dale Earnhardt at the Atlanta Raceway out there. So I attended that and wrote a piece about Dale Earnhardt and wrote a piece about the memorial service, and went on to attend the races in Atlanta through about 2004 as a reporter, as a sports reporter for a racing website. And it was totally out of character for me. I'd never done anything like that before, and I was a little bit nervous about it, but I said, what the heck, let's give this thing a try. I'll never forgive myself if I don't get out there and at least try. And it worked out pretty good. I had a lot of fun. It was hard work at the same time, but I'd have to attend the races and stay out there until the pit road and all that stuff, the winner's circle and all the advertisements and the photographs and everything was over, and then I'd have to come home and spend a couple of hours writing a report on the race and go through all that. So it was hard work, but it was an awful lot of fun there, Roger.
Absolutely, Tim. That is fascinating stuff. That's interesting that you say that was your first assignment was when Dale Earnhardt passed away. You know, Dale Earnhardt is my brother-in-law's favorite driver. And I won't steal Justin's thunder. I don't know if he plans on sharing any of his NASCAR
Steal away.
stories, but yeah. Justin had an opportunity as well to haul the transporter for Dave Marcus's team on a couple of occasions. So in his time of hauling that transporter, he too was able to get down into the pit and meet a lot of the drivers, and he was able to get Dale Earnhardt's autograph, and this was shortly before that accident. He made a point to get Dale Earnhardt's autograph, and he sent that to his brother. I wonder if his brother still has that.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he does too. But he also got a number of autographs. We had at that point in time decorated one of our son's bedrooms as a NASCAR bedroom, hung up a lot of the driver pictures and autographs and things of that nature in that room. So very cool stuff, Tim. It'd be interesting, that you and Justin could have maybe crossed paths at one of those races. Wouldn't that have been something? Small world. But very cool stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Tim. Definitely interesting. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 946. Justin sitting right next to me in Studio B.
Well, good evening, Julie, and everyone on the net. And yes, NASCAR. It's probably one of the things that I don't get a chance to talk about very often. But it's true that back in my truck driving days, I once had picked up a load of computer printers in New Jersey to bring back to be delivered to a distribution center in Chicago. And that was a Friday afternoon pickup. And it typically is one that I just bring back to the yard, and then I can have a weekend at home and take care of delivering that, or someone else delivers it while I go back east again the following week. But on my way home, I get a call from the boss, and he says, "Hey, have something interesting for you." And it turns out that Dave Marcus, his truck was in need of some repair. It needed a transmission and was out of service for a little while. And so Dave Marcus needed a truck and a driver.
Break.
And so that was me. I got to draw that straw and spend about 2 weeks with Dave Marcus racing. I went to Texas Motor Speedway, where we failed to qualify. But that was pretty cool, having the opportunity to pull the transporter into the what was still a pretty brand new raceway at that time. And it was really neat because that morning there were news reporters, TV crews, and whatnot all gathered just outside the gate where the trucks had gathered before they were allowed to pull into the infield, and had reporters coming up to me asking me questions, and I didn't know anything. It was the first time I'd ever done anything like this, and I didn't expect to be interviewed on TV, but here I am. I don't think they used any of that, but in any case, it was a very cool experience. Spent a couple of weeks with Dave Marcus. He actually drove my truck on the way back from Texas Motor Speedway to break again. And I have a lot of stories. I could burn up a lot of airtime telling Dave Marcus stories from that short time that I got to spend with him. Would have loved to have continued on.
Matter of fact, they wanted you to.
Yeah. There's just no money in it, so I had a family to support, so I just couldn't do that. But anyway, that's my interesting story. So back to you.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with the rest of the group, Justin. With that, we're going to move on to Atlanta 911, Cassandra in Woodstock. Good evening, Cassandra. What would you like to share with the group?
Julie, Justin, and the rest of the net. So, as you know, I'm not that interesting. But let's. I think everybody knows that I rescue and rehab dogs. I work specifically with shepherds and Malinois, breed. And I have fostered over 100 dogs, transported over 1,000 dogs, and I like driving and going on road trips.
Yes, you do. You are always on the go. I can testify to that. And yeah, we have also taken in one of Cassandra's fosters. We were going to foster the dog for her, and she has classified us as a foster failure. We never gave the dog back, so
Well, they can have him back now.
she has had a number of dogs in and out in her house, and currently has one right now that she's looking for a home for. So, a beautiful Malinois. But she is very picky as to where she's going to home this dog at. So there is that. I don't think she's willing to get rid of it yet. I think she's a foster failure.
Twice.
Oh, hush your mouth, because you know it's true. I'm actually out trying to water the garden, and it's not an easy feat as he's jumping over my garden fence to get the water. But yes, I'm ready for him to be home. He just has requirements. But Jessie, my only foster failure, going to visit her favorite aunt and uncle next week.
Well, Cassandra, we lost you there. I don't know if you're on a handheld out in the yard as you're trying to do your garden watering, but anyway, yes, we are excited about having Jessie come visit us for a couple of weeks as well. So definitely looking forward to that, and training her that chickens are friends, not food. But anyway, thank you for checking in with us tonight, Cassandra. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And that brings me to the bottom of the list. So I will call out for any late check-ins, any repeat or anywhere. And the floor is open. So if you have any questions or comments, now's your time. Net Control standing by.
Net Control.
Yeah, come on.
Time to share.
Oh my. Well, Bill, something about me that most people probably don't know. That's a tough one. I am an open book, I think. But nothing exciting that I can think about, but I can tell you, we originally lived in Indiana 10 years ago prior to coming here to Georgia. And while we were living there in Indiana, we had a major influx of Burmese immigrants that flooded the Fort Wayne area. The Catholic Charities was bringing them over because they were being persecuted. They were all in a refugee camp and being persecuted there, so on and so forth. Anyways, Catholic Charities flew them into the Fort Wayne area, and so these families, bless their heart, here they're in a country that they don't speak the language, with food that they've never seen before. At the time I was working in the school system, elementary school. We had a lot of these Burmese children come into our particular school, and it was a real problem, as you can imagine. They don't speak the language, they don't read the language, they don't write the language.
They don't understand the culture.
They don't understand our culture. Let me break. At the time, in addition to working at the school system, I also volunteered in the evening times at a food pantry. And a lot of these Catholic charity sponsors, for lack of a better word to say, would bring these Burmese families into our food pantry to get food for them. Well, the sad part about that is that they've never seen our kind of food before. And I had learned that they would bring this food home, but they wouldn't even know how to prepare it or how to eat it. I heard stories of people opening up boxes of taco shells and eating that just the way it is because they didn't know better. So obviously, a real problem. So what I ended up doing is I had sought out a monk that was in the area to teach me their language, the Burmese language. And then I started to go into their neighborhoods, and I brought food with me. And I was teaching them English and showing them how to prepare our food, and then would have them taste it, etc., and just get to know the people. So it was a very cool experience. Let me break. When I learned we were moving to Georgia, I was really hoping that I can continue my Burmese language and to continue to, do an outreach with the Burmese community. But come down here and there's no Burmese anywhere. So, needless to say, in 10 years, I have lost touch with that language. I couldn't even begin to tell you any of the words that I've learned, but it was a really cool experience, and something that definitely my heart was in.
Not bad, and as long as some of the Burmese will translate over to Tiki, I think you'll still be good.
Absolutely, yes. And, with that being said, Bill, the other thing is, and I guess this is probably no secret to anybody, but I definitely enjoy working on these kind of projects with Justin out in the yard. We have been having the time of our life, and it's just been a great thing for he and I to share out there in the yard, as opposed to sitting like vegetables in front of the TV. So fun stuff. Trying to put my thinking cap on as to what our next project will be once we complete the tiki bar.
Oh, you mean the next project being the pool, or being the extension on the deck, or being the
oh yeah.
Oh my golly.
You got
it,
baby.
It just keeps going on and on.
You got it.
Sitting here listening to you tell about, the experience that we had with the Burmese, two things come to mind. One is, it was around that time that the movie Gran Torino came out.
Yeah.
And we saw that movie in the theater, and I remember at the end of that movie, I was almost in shock at how closely that movie
was to Fort Wayne.
Replicates the story of the children of the Burmese families, because these are families that have come here. They don't know anything about our society or our culture, anything, and they are here, and now they have to provide for their families, and many of them ended up working in a nearby area, building RVs and motorhomes and stuff like that. So, and it would be mom and dad both would go.
Well, because they were in such debt. The Catholic Charities, when they brought the Burmese to Fort Wayne, the Burmese still had to pay back the plane ticket and, all the costs that was associated with bringing them here, which, when I learned that just appalled me. So it took both mom and dad to work. So many of the children were left raising themselves.
Yeah.
And got involved in gang activity. Just like that movie Gran Torino. Mm-hmm. And it just blew me away, that whole story. And so Clint Eastwood, all of his spaghetti westerns, we can all make fun of what a cheesy actor he was, but as a movie producer, holy cow, that guy is just a genius. He has created some true works of art, and really impressed. Let me break.
But I'm also really surprised because I was really looking forward to one of the stories about how your brother used to arrange fights for you in high school.
Oh, geez,
But,
here we go. That
so-
wasn't high school. That was elementary.
Okay. That's even better.
Oh my golly. So here Justin's starting another thing. Yeah, my brother, who's 5 years older than me, used to arrange neighborhood fights between me and the neighborhood boys in elementary school, and would take payment for people to come and watch. I mean, just stupid stuff. But anyway, you gotta love your brother. Oh my. So there is that. But anyway, with that, I will take late check-ins and any additional comments. The floor is open. Net control standing by.
Okay, net control.
All right, Cassandra, go ahead.
First, I highly doubt Drew would do any of that stuff that you talked about. And I think your next project should be to just sit and relax and enjoy the tiki for a few weeks before you go on to some other project. Just my 2 cents.
Well, I definitely agree with kicking back and relaxing and enjoying the tiki for a little bit. So I think that's in our very near future.
In 2 weeks is about right.
Yeah, right. But about my brother, oh yeah, I can tell you even more. So he raised me to be very mean, which I was one not to tango with, but I have definitely mellowed in my older years. So there is that. But anyway, again, this will be last call for any late check-ins, last call for any additional comments. Net control standing by.
This is
5-7.
Atlanta 5-7 WQZC 82, Andrew in Holly Springs. I know I'm late.
Thought someone was doubling with him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Net controls acknowledging Atlanta 5-7. Andrew in Holly Springs. Andrew, I would not say you're late. I would say you're right on time, my friend. What would you like to share with the group that maybe the rest of us don't know?
Oh, he's got a story.
Well, actually, let me start with this. I want to talk about right on time. I come home because my son broke my wife's phone this morning, so I was late. We were getting phones replaced and whatnot. And I turned the radio on, and the first thing that I hear is Tim, Atlanta 123, talking about an adult toy and something about magnetic balls and all this stuff. And of course, I was like, whoa. I'm like, whoa, what is the topic tonight?
Oh my golly. Yeah, it's well, the topic tonight, Andrew, is to share something with the rest of the group that maybe the rest of us don't know about you or might be surprised to learn about you. So, yeah. I could have swore 123 was talking about monkey balls. But anyway, what would you like to share?
Well, it was good to know that after I kind of heard a little more explanation, again, that was just my introduction to this net tonight. So after I learned that it was good, I was like, oh, okay, all right. But anyway, yeah, there's definitely some interesting information going on. About me, actually, I'll have to steal a phrase from what you just said. I'm a pretty good open book, and I'm very easy to read, and people know what I like and don't like. I have no idea what to throw into that.
All right. Well, you did share a story at one time that you talked about could be a book that you would write. So, curious if you wanted to share any of that.
Well, I mean, I could elaborate a little bit more on that, I guess. I remember the net shortly after this. I talked about if anyone had ever been adopted to never stop. trying to find, who your birth parents are, assuming that you want to know, obviously. Some people do, some people don't. But anyway, yes, I found out who my birth parents were, got to speak with my dad, got to meet my dad. Mom, not as much of an open book, but I will say that there is an interesting twist to all of this, and I think it's okay to kind of put that out there at the moment. Let me break one moment. All right, without going into horribly much detail, it actually turns out that I have a very close connection with one of our own here on the network. As it turns out, Alex, Somerville 10, who I think is on the net tonight, I think, it turns out that we are married and related through this whole thing. So it turns out that his wife's aunt is my birth mother's sister. So, yes, I guess you're right. I could throw that out there that people didn't know. But, thinking that's all in a Reader's Digest version. There's a lot more to it and a whole bunch more twists and turns. But in a nutshell, found my birth parents and learned something that was awesome, very awesome in that, with a very, very local micro world connection.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing, Andrew. What a small world that we are in, and it just seems like it gets smaller every day. So, cool stuff, Andrew. Well, I'm so glad that you took the time to check in with us this evening. So, you're sounding good, my friend. Hope you have a great weekend. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close up.
I think it's time.
Yeah, it's time. But just because we're closing up does not mean that you don't have, or that you have to get off the air. You can still continue to talk amongst one another into the wee hours of the night.
Yeah.
So, with that, this concludes the North Georgia Regional GMRS Net. We had a total of 28 check-ins, including myself. Net control will be returning the repeater back to normal use. Everyone that signed in should sign out. Thank you for allowing me to be your net control tonight. Good night, everyone. Atlanta 947, WQIR 514. Clear.
Good night, everyone. Atlanta 946. Oh, you didn't have
Oh.
Atlanta 210,
Sorry.
WRCK 347, clear.
Yeah. We're going to hang out here for just a second with these folks. We should take this time to acknowledge Todd Nelson is hanging out with us tonight. I'd like to say hello to Todd.
Hey, Todd.
And Stephen, CW14, hanging out with us this evening.
Hi, Stephen.
Glad to hear you in there.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah. And the rest of you folks, we've already talked with you, so, well, we haven't talked with. Gary says we have a hum.
Oh, Gary. We have a hum?
We have a hum. I don't even know the words.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So you have to hum.
I thought you were supposed to work all that out last night.
Well, I don't hear the hum. So
Sorry, Gary.
We'll have to go play it back.
Good help is hard to find.
It's really hard to find. So, all right. Well, YouTube folks, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up on this end as well.
Yeah.
So,
good night, everyone.
We'll catch up with all of you later. This one.